Why do you believe the world is being drawn into chaos? Help me understand the geopolitical landscape that is setting the stage for a global collapse, paving the way for the Antichrist to emerge and bring a false peace. As someone who studies this topic, I often focus on economists. The economy plays a major role in this global impact. For instance, the Federal Reserve has kept interest rates high. In Brazil, the Selic rate and other interest rates are at 14.5%, and there's talk of another increase. High interest rates, soaring inflation, and a shaken economy all point toward a global recession. We are walking toward it. More than 80% of those who study this predict a bursting of the bubble. When I think about a collapse, I look at the United States and Europe. Brazil also gets affected, especially because of immigration issues. If a recession hits, some say it could be worse than the crash of 1929. Have you studied what happened in 1929? After World War I ended, a massive financial recession followed, and many business owners took their own lives. Imagine going to bed a millionaire and waking up with nothing. That's the kind of scenario people are anticipating, possibly worse. Everything today is digital. What is money now? Just numbers inside an app. And you believe those numbers are real money. But what if everything gets turned off? What if there's a technological collapse? What if the powers that be decide who should have access to money and who shouldn't? What if they reset everything? They could do it because the ones in control aren't interested in money anymore. The devil isn't after wealth. He's after souls. He uses governments and systems. The people behind Agenda 2030, the World Economic Forum, the Bilderberg Group, and the so-called Illuminati, whether you think it's conspiracy or not, these elite families exist. They don't need more money. They already control it all. What they want now is full dominance, to eventually hand it all over to the Antichrist. So if there's an economic collapse, the entire world will be shaken. Unemployment will surge. Prices are already high and will rise even more. Even something as simple as eggs has become a luxury item. The other day I joked with my wife that I made an egg soup and told her, I ate like a rich man. That's our reality. And look at Brazil and the U.S. again. Interest rates were supposed to go down, but instead they stayed the same or went up. Buying a car on financing today means you'll pay the equivalent of 2 or more cars. And people are still thankful they even got approved for financing. It's the same with housing. Now imagine a collapse in that scenario. In the U.S., there are 18 million immigrants, not counting the unemployed. Money stops circulating. In Europe, there are millions of immigrants, many hungry and desperate. That's collapse. And here's the frightening part. They already have a solution. People just aren't paying attention. You start hearing speeches from Elon Musk, Emmanuel Macron, Pope Francis, Klaus Schwab of the World Economic Forum, King Charles, all promoting universal basic income. It's already being tested in parts of Africa. They picked a region where people are getting monthly payments just to see how they respond. This will eventually go global. They'll say, we broke the system, but we'll help you survive. And you'll have a chance to survive, but only if you fully submit to government authority. Break one rule, and you lose everything. What do they say? You'll get your money, but only through a chip? Just an idea, but people will run to accept it because they need to survive. Economic collapse also leads to war. Countries will fight for resources. It will be nations against nations, kingdoms against kingdoms. That's why I've emphasized this so many times. In 1 Thessalonians 5, verse 3, it says, when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction will come upon them. Whenever the media promotes peace and security, we must be alert. Destruction follows. The contractions are intensifying. Before the rider on the white horse appears, the world must be in chaos. He will bring a false peace, but only for a short time. Then the red horse comes, war. It's all there in the Bible. Daniel chapter 7, verses 8 and 9. Daniel saw 10 horns on the beast. Then he saw a small horn, the Antichrist, with human-like eyes and a mouth speaking proudly. And then 3 horns fell. What does that mean? Picture 10 empires united, giving power to the small horn, the Antichrist. Imagine Russia making peace with the U.S. China with America, North and South Korea reconciling, Palestine, and Israel making peace. Imagine political rivals reconciling. That brief moment of unity is when the man of sin will be revealed. But three of those powers will resist. They won't submit, and that triggers a war. Revelation 6 verses 3 to 4. After war comes famine, the black horse. A full day's wage for a portion of wheat or 3 of barley. We are already seeing this. There's food, but people can't afford it. A family living on minimum wage can't afford basic groceries. Can they eat meat every day? Maybe for 10 days a month. The rest is eggs. And now even eggs are expensive. People might have to eat squash. Like Lula once suggested, Revelation makes it clear. Food won't disappear, but will become unaffordable. Only the rich will eat well. And that's why left-wing governments now face such massive disapproval. Even programs like Bolsa Familia can't keep up with the cost of living. It barely makes a difference. What's happening? A false peace will break. Globalism will crack. 3 powers will rebel. War will erupt. The red horse. Then comes famine, the black horse. Then comes death, the pale horse. A fourth of humanity dies from hunger, disease, violence, and even wild animals. So let's be honest. Do we need a global peace? Yes. Are food prices absurdly high? Yes. Are there multiple wars already happening? Absolutely. And what about diseases? We've just been through a pandemic that killed millions, and more are being predicted. Bird flu, viruses in the Congo, and recurring variants. There's no shortage of warnings. The signs are everywhere.